Hello guys, welcome back to TFD with another banger. Man, listen, no good. No good at all. I don't know what's going on here, but this WNBA soap opera just keeps getting wilder by the day. Now, we've got Lexie Brown stepping up on her podcast and dropping some serious bombs about what's really happening behind the scenes. According to her, the players' ultimate goal right now is to strip the WNBA owners of their power. Yeah, you heard that right. Take the power away from the very people who've been keeping this league afloat for years. Let's be honest, before Caitlin Clark showed up, the league was bleeding money. We're talking millions upon millions of dollars lost every single season. And now, after she shows up and revives the WNBA with record-breaking viewership, ticket sales, and merch revenue, the players suddenly want to push back against ownership. That's wild. These owners have invested hundreds of millions, some buying teams for over $250 million just to keep the league alive long enough for this new wave to happen. And now they're the ones being targeted for control? Make that make sense. Lexie Brown even said herself she doesn't believe a new deal is going to get done within this 30-day window. That's how messy this whole situation has become. You've got players doubting leadership, questioning the future, and flat out admitting they're scared about where things are headed. And honestly, they should be, because when you start trying to take power from the money, the people writing the checks, things can go south real quick. We're not talking about a few disagreements here. This is about the entire structure of the WNBA being challenged. Who calls the shots? Who benefits from the revenue spike Caitlin Clark brought in? And who decides how that new money gets divided? Lexie Brown made it clear that players are frustrated, but also nervous, because if no deal gets done, the entire season could be at risk. So I'm keeping it real over here, keeping it rockin'. The players might want change, but if they're not careful, they could blow up the best momentum the league has ever had. Let's roll the clip and hear exactly what Lexie Brown had to say about this whole CBA situation, because this right here is turning into one of the most fascinating battles the WNBA has ever seen.
It's so interesting that you bring up that point, because I do feel like it is a power struggle happening right now. Like, I feel like for so many years, we've just been like a mini tiny blip of part of the WNBA ecosystem, which is crazy because the WNBA wouldn't exist without the players that play in it. And we've just been like...
Lexie Brown, I'm sorry to cut you off, but let's just keep it all the way real here. The WNBA would not even exist if it weren't for those NBA owners who've been willing to lose $30, $40, even $50 million a year just to keep this league running for decades. That's not an exaggeration. That's the truth. These people didn't have to keep investing. They did it because they believed in women's basketball, even when nobody was watching. Now, don't get me wrong, I want y'all to get paid. I want every player to shine. I want y'all to have your moment, your endorsements, your spotlight, but let's not rewrite history here. The only reason this league even had the chance to get to where it is today is because those owners kept pouring money into a product that wasn't making any back. And now that Caitlin Clark shows up, suddenly you've got sold-out arenas, record-breaking TV numbers, and actual buzz around the league. That didn't happen by accident. That happened because one player made casual fans tune in, made people care again. Let's not act like the owners didn't take major L's to get us to this point. You can't ignore the fact that viewership dropped by over 50% the moment one player wasn't on the court. That tells you everything you need to know about how fragile this success is. So before we start talking about taking power from the people who funded the dream, let's just be real about who's been paying the bills all this time. At the end of the day, I want a 2026 season just like everybody else because I want to see Caitlin Clark go out there and bust everybody in her way. But if we keep biting the hands that built this league, there might not even be a 2026 season to look forward to.
Just buried under all of this money and you lose money and no one wants to see y'all. No one wants to watch y'all. Y'all aren't marketable. Y'all aren't this. Y'all aren't that. And finally, here we are, all of those things being disproven one by one. And the league is still like, no, we still want y'all to be at this tiny percentage of everything. And it's extremely frustrating because they're not budging on it. They're really not. And
They did lose money though, Lexie. They really did. There you go. She just admitted it. If you want to know what's really happening with these CBA negotiations, that's your answer right there. The owners are not budging. They're not moving an inch on the percentage the players are demanding. And honestly, I can see exactly where this is heading. The owners have already taken enough losses. They're not about to let this new wave of momentum slip away over a standoff. At some point, they're going to say, all right, enough. Caitlin, you ready to play? Cool. We'll cut the check. We'll go find some replacement players if the rest don't want to get on board. Because, let's be honest, the WNBA finally has leverage for the first time in years, and that leverage's name is Caitlin Clark. The owners know who the draw is, they know who's selling tickets, who's bringing in the TV numbers, who's keeping fans locked in. If push comes to shove, they'll do what they have to do to protect that product. You can't keep asking for a bigger slice of the pie when the people baking it are the ones losing money year after year. The players deserve respect, no doubt, but the owners aren't just going to hand over control when they've been the ones footing the bill this whole time. This negotiation's about to get messy, and if the players don't play it smart, they could end up sitting on the sidelines while the league keeps moving without them.
Every meeting that we have with the Players Association, and every meeting that we have, more players are hopping on because I think the deadline is in 4 days. So we're not getting to an agreement in 4 days, but more players are like, oh, this might really, this is not good. And I think the momentum is in our favor. I think we are building more leverage. I think that we're all on a united front. And I remember our last CBA negotiations it was not like this. So, I mean, it's good for us because I think we do have a lot of people on our side, a lot of people supporting us. A lot of people are now really are not being as dense about it. You still have the random trolls who are like, your league doesn't make any money, da da da. But I really do feel like now people are really, when you get into the numbers and all the money that is about to be inserted into the league with that, especially with the media rights deal, I think now that people are now really just thinking about that in totality, I think more people are starting to understand oh yeah, no, they're being really underpaid. And again, we're not trying to get paid the same amount of money. It's percentages, guys, piece of the pie. That's all we want. And I think they're budging a little bit, but that revenue sharing, it's just, they're not coming up off.
Listen, Lexie, the owners are not playing around. They're standing firm. They're not budging, not flinching, not folding. They know what's fair. And honestly, it sounds like some of the things the players are asking for might be pushing it a little bit. Let's be real, Cheryl Swoops doesn't need a WNBA check right now, but the owners, they still haven't even made a real profit yet. What are we doing here? Lexie literally said it herself. They're not coming off that revenue share. That's the hill the owners are willing to die on. So y'all need to take the 4 times, 5 times, even 6 or 8 times the salary increases that are already on the table and stop trying to force something that's not happening. At least not this time around. You're not getting that revenue share out of these owners, man. Not now. What y'all could do is play it smart, lock in a shorter CBA, maybe make it a 3-year deal instead of a 5-year one so you can get back to the table sooner when the league's in a stronger financial spot. That's how you play chess, not checkers. But the problem is, there's a real divide among the players. Some are thinking long-term, but others, they're saying, forget the future, I need to get paid now. And Satu even made that clear. She's not worried about what's going on in 2029 or 2030, she's trying to eat today. And that's where the power struggle really lies. You've got a group thinking legacy, structure, and growth, and another group thinking about survival and immediate payout. Meanwhile, the owners are sitting back we've been losing money for years, and now that we're finally close to breaking even, y'all want a piece of profits that don't even exist yet? That's the tension right there, the heart of this entire CBA war. And until both sides get on the same page, it's gonna stay messy. The owners aren't moving, and if the players don't find a way to compromise soon, they might fumble the best window of opportunity the WNBA has ever had.
And it's been extremely, the funny thing is, it's so crazy.
it's not a salary number that you guys are asking for where it's like, I want to get paid this. I want to get paid what NBA players are getting paid. It's a revenue share. It's a percentage, which I find interesting because I always hear WNBA players reiterating that you guys don't want to get paid exactly what they're getting paid. You want to get paid your fair share, just like they're getting paid their fair share. So why, if it's possible with the NBA, with the guys, to give them the percentage that they deserve, with the WNBA, what's the excuse? Is it like because the percentage is smaller? Because that doesn't really apply because it's a percentage. So no matter what the number is, the percentage, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It correlates. Like if our revenue is smaller, our percentage will be smaller. So does that, what are they trying to say? Y'all are worth less than them in a percentage?
That's exactly what they're saying.
Me.
That's exactly what they're saying. And I mean, I think our makeup financially is definitely is way more complex than the NBA because, we have owners. We have owners like, Vegas and New York have like their owners, and we have like ownership groups, and you still have teams that are owned by the NBA owners. So it's like there's so many different owners with different mentalities about their team that they own and their expectations of the team that that they own. And I feel that's where the issue really is. Like we always say, like everyone is just pointing their fingers. Oh, Kathy this, Kathy that, Kathy that. It's the owners of the teams. That's who she's talking to. That's who she is the figurehead for, is the owners. So, our owners, they have told us, and as many words as they could, that, we're advocating for you guys at these conversations. Like they didn't flat out say, oh, we are asking for this, but they told us like, yeah, no, we are on the right side of this when it comes to ownership. And I believe them. And our Seattle Storm owners, I mean, they're amazing. They're great. But then you probably have like some other owners who are like, no, I'm not trying to this is my little tax write-off. This is my little whatever. This is my little, I don't care about this.
What do you own?
Then what do you own a team
why?
for? Exactly. So I just feel like I wish I could be a fly on the wall in these meetings with the owners and to see what they're talking about, where their disagreements are, where their issues are with the revenue sharing. Like I would love to know what those conversations are like, because I feel like from what, owners, the Vegas owners are saying, what the Liberty owners do and say, our owners do and say, they feel very strongly about advocating for the players, investing in their players. So I'm like, obviously there's some owners out there that feel the opposite. Mm-hmm. And I want to know which owners they are. But we'll never hear from them in public. We're never going to know who they are.
We only hear from like a...
The fact of the matter is, and I know this is going to sound harsh, but to a certain degree, y'all are trying to eat off Caitlin Clark. Let's just call it what it is, bro. When we talk about money, value, and leverage in the WNBA right now, there's no denying who's bringing in the big numbers. It just is what it is. Caitlin Clark changed everything. Attendance, ratings, merchandise, media coverage. She flipped the whole league on its head. And let's be real, without Caitlin Clark coming in and elevating the game the way she did, a lot of these demands probably wouldn't even be on the table. The timing's not a coincidence. The players see the momentum, they see the exposure, and now they're trying to capitalize on it. I get it, but let's not act like this all came from nowhere. The owners know it too. They're looking at the numbers like, hold on, we lost 55% of the viewers the moment she sat out. That's not small. That's not something you can just ignore. That's cold, hard data, and that's why the owners feel they have leverage. They know who's keeping the lights on right now. And listen, trust me, you do not want to be a fly on the wall in those CBA meetings. You really don't. Because when those owners start speaking freely about where the money's going, who's worth what, and what they really think behind closed doors, it gets ugly. It's like when players try to negotiate their own contracts and hear all the reasons teams don't want to pay them. It's brutal, it's personal, and it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Normally, your agent shields you from that. But if you heard it directly, man, some of y'all might not even want to play anymore. And Lexie Brown basically confirmed it. There's a real power struggle going on. The players want control. The owners, they're not giving it up. Not after losing money for decades and finally seeing a profitable horizon. Connecticut, Atlanta, you know who's leading that pushback. Bottom line, this does not look good for the CBA. Both sides are digging in and time's running out. Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Do you think the players are pushing too far or the owners being too stubborn? Let me know, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.